Video is all about like how to create a custom component in the Pega and what is the process that we are going to follow. So first we need to do this first, install Constellation DX component builder. So then we need to update this tasks.config.json in order to authenticate. So further we will be authenticating with the Pega using our credentials, Pega credentials. Once the authentication is done, so we were able to create and view, which means like we can test from the storybook, and again we can uh, make a publish to the Pega. So here I have this Visual Studio. Let me do this. So I have the folder. Now in the folder, first command would be this one, npx at the rate of Pega custom dx component. So the moment I click and enter, so it will create and install some of the dependencies, so that we can do an authentication to the Pega. So the code related to the fields that will be created here, and editing of this code also should be done here from here only. So after entering this command, so we'll get to ask this one, enter the project name. So let me enter this one. So the project name would be SLDX component. All four numeric starting with this. So I'm given this capital letters, which is the reason it's given. So let me remove this capital. Now organization would be SL description author. I think it's not accepting this space, I believe. So once we enter this organization name, so it will create some dependencies code. So we'll get to see here, actually actual code we'll get to see here. The moment it got installed, right, the code will be seen here. So the main code regarding this authentication will be resides in the tasks.config.json. So where we give our Pega URL in order to connect with the Pega from the Visual Studio. So yeah, let it create. The moment it got success, it will show you like this. And I need to enter this config.json. So it will create some predefined rule set name versions, and so that I'm going to change to my rule set survey survey component. Then I'm going to change this my library to dx. Okay, now the config.json got updated. So what is the next step? So these two steps are done. Now I need to do the authenticate with Pega. Then after that, I need to do create some custom components. So let me enter this one, run. Sorry, npm run authenticate. Okay, it's giving this error, which means I'm not in the correct root path. So it got created, right, the folder. So I need to go to that particular folder, actually. SLDX component. Yeah, I mean, now you enter your comments. Yeah, it just take bit of a time in order to ask for your credentials. Let's wait for that. Yeah. So the moment we enter this run authenticate, right? So we need to enter this URL. Now after clicking this enter, it will ask you this. So it will populate to give. So you need to enter this username and the password and then login. Okay. So authentication is complete. So once it is done, so we'll get to see the authentication is successful in the command center. So now, so we authentication is done. Now I need to create. Npm run create the components that I need to create. So it will ask which type of a component I want to create the field. So giving the one type of a component, text only, component name. So as of now, I'll give this test text. I don't require, so okay, fine. So test only that I'm giving. Version would be one. SDX extension. So please enter the applications. So in order to support for all these applications, so I'm not giving anything. So yeah, now npm run list. So it will show the whatever the created list here locally. So I wanted to verify whether it's created locally. So give the time. So it got created. So in order to, so before we publish to the Pega, that we need to test actually npm run start storybook. So this interface will help you to test before we publish to the Pega. So because we need to see, right, so in the UI part what are gonna see, so before we actually publish, so that thing we can do it from this story base, and then it populates like this. Okay, so let it load, it will take some time. Yeah, it's building a module. This, so test thing and the label, so I can give it to test again. So you can see this label, helper text, place, insert, first name. So this is going to be insert. If you want to keep it read only, you can make it as true, otherwise editable. Required, I want to make it as mandatory field. Okay, so these are the things that we can do from here itself. Okay, okay, so the testing part is done, so I need to publish to this Pega actually. So before we publish, so I need to exit from that storybook. So for that I need to do the control C, and then it got exited. So let's publish now. Npm run publish. Yeah, which one you need to publish? So it will populate the whatever we have created from the local. So SLDX test thing. So as I created only one, it's showing this one. Otherwise, if we have created this multiple components, it will list out this components here. So rule set name will be the SLDX component only, and the version would be the same. Yes. Why we do means like it will help you for tracing in further. If any mistakes happen, so it will help you. That logs will be generated if you give that an SS for the generate development build. So it just takes a couple of minutes in order to publish to the Pega. So once it got published, like let's verify from Pega itself. So yeah, compiled successfully. Given also does not exist. Okay, I think there is a rule set mismatch. So let me verify that before I actually publish once again. Okay, we don't have this rule set number, so I created this one. So SL console DX component. Okay, then let me publish once again. Sorry, the spelling was wrong. So run publish. Yeah, first one. No, it just takes. Okay, the moment we created this published, right, so it will show you like this. So let's verify whether it's actually published or not. Npm run list. So we need to verify from the server whether it's actually moved to the infinite Pega server. Oh, it got actually it moved to this, where it moved, it will move to this rule set name. Okay, cell construction, let me verify from the Pega as well. So this is Pega and this is the rule set that I have. And so if I click on this one, so yeah, rule name test text, it got published to the Pega. Okay, so that's all about this. So I'll be making more videos on this component and how we can do further. So the related to how we can make complex test fields and widgets. Those will be coming up next. So keep following me. Thanks for watching.